Test takers were surprised this week by a format change in the test that the Law School Admission Council did not announce ahead of time. Some tests had no comparative passages in the reading comprehension portion of the test. It is kind of like not actually a big deal, but it sure seems like a big deal to some people.
Hello and welcome to episode 543 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. I'm Ben Olson. With me is Nathan Fox. We're the co-founders of lsatdemon.com and the LSAT Demon Daily podcast. We have an ABA news item here after,
I'm not sure how much news there actually is here, but
Okay.
yeah, from Central Florida Public Media, we have an article that says, after governors urging, Florida Supreme Court opens doors to new law school accreditors. Florida voted 5-1 that the American Bar Association is no longer the primary or only accreditor of law schools in Florida. Blah, blah, blah. Florida can now start reaching out to alternate accreditors starting October 1st. And any new accreditors of universities have to be approved by the U.S. Department of Education. Apparently, the American Bar Association is the only currently approved accreditor by the U.S. Department of Education. I assume that the reason why that's relevant is because of access to federal funds.
Okay.
So I don't know how much impact this can possibly have in the short run. It seems like nothing is going to happen until October 1st. Florida, like Texas, Florida's the second state now to do this.
Conservative states that are upset with the liberal
politics, and they're just lashing out.
Yeah.
Exactly. It seems as if I thought Texas was going to have their own state Supreme Court accredit law schools. It seems like they were taking it on themselves. Who knows what Florida's going to do?
Yeah.
And who knows whether it's going to do anything at all, because it really kind of just seems like showboating politics. I mean, I don't like what's going to actually happen here.
Yeah, what is going to happen, especially if federal funds are still tied to getting an ABA accreditation. That said, I do wish that there were easier ways to get accredited or even just abandon the need for accreditation so that schools can innovate. Some will fail, but some could succeed. It's a wildly old, archaic system.
It does seem like an archaic, broken system with a lot of inefficiencies built into it. You know, this might be a good time. I reached out on Slack the other day. I just keep hearing more and more horror stories from students about the ways that they get mistreated in law school.
Okay.
And I thought that these might be kind of amusing to share.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's some anonymous replies from our team. My torts professor spent multiple classes showing us a documentary called Class Action Park. Was away at a conference the week he, quote, taught proximate cause on Zoom. Missed multiple classes on short notice due to childcare commitments, but never recorded classes for students who needed to miss class due to childcare commitments, and held his weekly office hours at 4:30 p.m. on our section's busiest day of the week. That one kind of encapsulates a lot of what I see and hear, where because law school has to be 3 years in person in most contexts, they just end up wasting unbelievable amounts of student time. They just give no shit at all. You know, professor requires in-person attendance but has no problem teaching class on Zoom with no advance notice.
No advanced notice.
Yeah.
So you show up in person in class and they're like, oh, no, today you're going to watch this on Zoom? Yeah.
Professor schedules a guest speaker at the last minute who turns out to be barely, not even related to the content of the class and definitely not covered on the exam. Later in the week, different professor, different class, same thing, exact same speaker. talking about basically the exact same thing.
So a hired gun to fill gaps.
Just so, oh, we'll just get Joe to come in here
Oh
so
yeah,
that we don't
Joe's
have to.
popular. Yeah, people
Mm-hmm.
like him.
Yeah.
Wait, that's really weird. So do we know anything about the? Are we getting a sampling of schools here? Is this just one school?
This is just all over the place.
Hmm.
Had a professor this week tell us at the beginning of a 2-hour class that he hadn't prepared any class content yet, so he wanted to use the time to get to know us. He kept us for 2 hours and rambled. I could tell you all about his wife and children now, but I know nothing about the course. The kicker, he assigned 2 movies as our homework for this first class. He mentioned one of them passingly.
Wait, prepare content. They teach the same thing every semester.
I know, but that's one thing I've heard like pretty consistently is that there's just nothing going on in like the entire first week of class. Like possibly not even have the books ready in the bookstore or anything. It's just like, oh, everybody has to show up first week of class. And then by the
Wow.
way, first week of class coming out of winter break, like 4 out of 5 professors call in sick during the first week.
Oh yeah, it's a tough time of year. I'm sure they're all sick. Yeah.
Last minute, no notice for the class, like students maybe could have just stayed another week on vacation, but nope, they're back there in person. Here's another one says, oh yeah, responding to the previous one of our team members says, oh yeah, that sounds right. That sounds about right. I had one class where the professors assigned us to watch 5 quintessential lawyering movies over spring break. Those movies, by the way, were My Cousin Vinny, A Few Good Men, The Verdict, 12 Angry Men, and some other movie from the 1950s. That probably the professor
Dramatized legal scenarios that are not typical
at
of
all.
most
And
legal
what can you
work.
really learn? And it probably also, it's like so condescending because the professor's like thinks they're helping you relax or whatever, oh, these
Yeah.
kids, they need to learn. But then like what are typical, go-getter law students, they're going to think that they have to watch all 5 of those movies during their spring break.
Hmm.
Professor assigned them.
And not just watch them, like engage with the
Like actually study
underlying
them.
message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really bad. To me, this all sounds like symptoms of a system that is monopolied, right? That's
Yes.
you can't get the credential to practice law
Yes.
in any other way.
Right.
So you're forced to go into this system.
Well, how about this? Like here's another data point that shows you how stupid the whole thing is. One of our current team members, a 1L, just got his post-law school job sorted out. So
Okay.
he's spent this entire first semester, he's like doing his classwork, but he also was doing like crazy interviewing and networking and stuff to go get a job.
Yeah.
As a 1L in your first semester.
Yeah. And so
He's already hired now. They're going to, huh?
Post graduation?
Well,
this isn't is this a hire for the summer or a hire for?
No, it's big law hire in a completely different state.
Yeah.
But they've already hired him. They're going to pay him basically to not work over the first summer because they don't want him to go to any other firms.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pay him to actually work in the second summer.
He's going to get paid to do nothing the first summer.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like already he's on the path for his post-grad job. And now he just has to finish jumping through stupid hoops, basically.
Yeah, so 98% of the value of law school has already been acquired.
Yes, yep. pure signaling. And I mean, they know that law school is going to make you work hard. And they know that if you go to this law school, with these credentials, again, because it's all just signaling, they know that you're going to be successful. They know that you're going to end up passing the bar. But like legal education, it just seems like a joke.
Wow. Well, to get back to our listeners and what they're thinking about as they're considering going down this path, this is just another reason that you don't pay full price for sure. almost certainly pay less than half and ideally pay nothing
Yeah.
or get paid to go because you're entering a charade of sorts. You want to pay a lot of money for something that has questionable value and
Oh,
time?
totally. No,
Yeah.
and by the way, this same guy that I'm talking about is definitely at school on a full ride and is
Mm.
definitely going into big law upon graduation.
What's so sad about that is that he has his big law job slated, almost locked in right now. And
Yeah.
there is someone else at that school who is paying full price and struggling to get passing grades.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
Okay, so second little bit of follow-up here on this ABA issue, accreditation issue.
Okay.
There's an article from Karen Sloan in Reuters. That's
Yep.
the headline is ABA Law School Division seeks greater independence amid political backlash. You want to read some of this?
Sure. The legal education arm of the American Bar Association is seeking to distance itself from its parent organization as it fights to remain the dominant accreditor of U.S. law schools. Okay, so a subpart of the ABA is
Yep.
saying, hey, we want to be neutral or something. The ABA's Council of the Section of Legal Education and Admissions to the Bar will consider a pair of proposals on Friday that would give its law school accreditation function greater independence from the so-called Big ABA, which has repeatedly clashed with President Donald Trump's administration over issues ranging from diversity and inclusion to attacks on judges and law firms. Legal Education Council leaders have said many people don't realize that they operate independently from the larger ABA, fueling efforts to supplant the ABA's law school accreditation role in some Republican-led states.
I mean, I should interject here that the American Bar Association has definitely done just blatant politicking, right? I mean,
Okay.
they're just like fundraising that's like anti-Trump or, like, oh, save democracy from the current threats or whatever. And it's very clear who they're talking about. So I guess, fuck around and find out. The ABA, it's like, this is what happens when you politic against the sitting president of the United States.
Well, also Trump in particular.
Trump in
There's
particular.
some presidents who might just ignore you.
Right.
But yeah, okay.
So anyway, now I guess the section on legal education is trying to like sort of separate themselves from the parent organization.
Hey, we're apolitical or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This continues. This is a quote from Council Chair Daniel Thies. The big ABA doesn't talk about us. Doesn't ask us about its amicus brief or anything else. Yeah, so we're not counseled on these political moves. Oh, interesting. So this council chair said this during a panel on legal education convened by the Federalist Society.
Yes.
Which is also a very conservative organization. Anyways, the first proposal being considered at Friday's meeting would establish a new body to handle law school oversight, separate from the council's other business. The second would reduce the ABA House of Delegates oversight role by limiting its opportunities to weigh in on proposed changes to accreditation standards, streamlining the rule changes. Okay.
I mean, I'm just going to call bullshit on the whole thing. It sounds like nothing. This is like a process designed for nothing to ever happen. On the one hand, they're claiming that they already have independence from the American Bar Association. On the other hand, they're now going to convene so that they can discuss two proposals, both designed to separate themselves, but they already claim to be an independent oversight body. What are they going to vote themselves an independent oversight body underneath the American Bar Association?
Have authority to do that? Like what?
I know. It's just another one of these things where it's like you see all these big headlines and is anything ever going to happen here?
It must be so frustrating to work in government.
Yes.
Everything has to be approved by the collective conscience, which is just like never going to happen.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be so watered down that it's useless.
Yeah. You know who doesn't have to move that slowly? The Law School Admission Council, apparently.
Okay. So
because our
this,
next news
yeah.
item is I mean it is kind of like not actually a big deal, but it sure seems like a big deal to some people.
Well, it would be surprising if you were a test taker. So, LSAT test takers were surprised by an unannounced format change, according to law.com. Yeah, you want to read this?
Sure. During the first administration of the law school admission test in 2026, test takers were surprised this week by a format change in the test that the Law School Admission Council did not announce ahead of time. Some tests had no comparative passages in the reading comprehension portion of the test, a question that has been the norm for nearly 20 years. Yeah, so comparative reading, it's only 1 out of 4 passages, and it popped up on the LSAT first in 2007. They made a big deal about the comparative reading when it first was launched, and maybe it just gives you an insight into what life was like back then
Yeah.
versus what life is like now.
Yep.
Back then, it was like, oh wow, we studied this extensively. They released a free copy of the test. The June 2007 test was free
Mm-hmm.
because it included this brand new comparative reading. And for 18 years since then, 19 years since then,
Mm-hmm.
Ben and I have been going around telling people, well, it's really not that big of a deal because it's only 1 out of 4 passages anyway. It's very similar in length to the other 4 passages. It has a similar number of questions to the other 4 passages. And yeah, it leans a little more like compare contrast in style.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been doing compare and contrast reading exercises since junior high. So how hard is it really to do the comparative reading passage?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, essentially, LSAC is acknowledging what we've been saying for 19 years, which is, yeah, it's really not even any different. There's a quote here. We did not believe this adjustment was significant enough to warrant a proactive communication, LSAC said in a statement emailed to law.com. In retrospect, we should have proactively communicated to test takers and to our licensees, who are an important channel of information and guidance to test takers and prospective students. We will learn from this and communicate more proactively in the future.
I guarantee you that a non-trivial number of test takers did the reading comp section, got to section passage 4, realized that there were
Like,
no comparative
freaked out.
passages, and thought either what the hell is happening, or this is the experimental section.
This is the experimental section. I have identified it. It's got to be the experimental section because there's no comparative reading.
Yep.
So then I'll probably just
difference. Yep.
I'm going to take a nap and not do the 4th passage.
Yeah.
Imagine students who like page through, pick which passages they're going to do.
Yep.
If they had looked at all 4 passages
Mm-hmm.
and saw no comparative reading, they could have just said, oh, well, this has to be the experimental section.
Yeah. I mean, that's on them. You should never treat a section as if it's experimental because you just don't know.
Right.
But at the same time, like looking at the mass number of people that are taking this test, there's going to be a decent chunk who reacted that way. And now LSAC has to deal with this like very solvable problem. They could have told people and then
It's
they could have
just a
taken the test seriously.
self-own.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think it's kind of a symptom of some of the disrespect that we were talking about earlier, where it's just like, I don't know, it just feels like basically disregard for anybody who's not already at the top of the pyramid. Anyway, the LSAC in their statement, they go on and they say, well, this adjustment was made after detailed analysis of the scoring patterns related to single passage RC questions and comparative reading RC questions. Our assessments team has determined that comparative reading passages and single reading passages are no different in difficulty. And I mean, if that's true, if you actually did that analysis, you could have just sent a note out to the hundreds of thousands of people who are stakeholders in this test.
At the very least, the people who are signed up to take the test. Hey, by the way, you're not going to necessarily
and maybe the licensees.
have.
I mean,
yeah,
I
mean, why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
That's that item. So we might not, who knows? You go take the test, and now there's either going to be 4 normal reading comprehension passages, or maybe there's going to be 3 normal passages and 1 comparative reading.
mhm.
It ultimately doesn't actually make a difference.
All
Next one
right.
up.
Yeah, this next email is from Jake. The subject is, I will not be paying for law school with 3 exclamation points.
Hi, Ben and Nathan. I want to reach out and share my Thinking LSAT/LSAT is Easy success story. Today, I was offered a full scholarship to Seton Hall Law, my top choice. I wasn't some Harvard level applicant. I was pretty average with a 164 and a 3.74 STEM degree. That's not that average, actually. I mean, the numbers by themselves are kind of average, but 3.74 in STEM is legit normally.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, anyway, Jake says, I took your advice to heart while studying, preparing, and applying. Take it slow. Read the passage first. Don't finish sections. Take the test multiple times. It's all true. Seton Hall was my top choice because of location and outcomes balanced with what I estimated my scholarship would be. Being reasonable and keeping my goals in focus helped me to uncover this incredible opportunity. Thanks again, Ben and Nathan. I never imagined I'd be here, but I made it. Cheers to not paying for law school.
Wow, great. Producer Jacob notes that apparently Seton Hall gave only 1% of their class full tuition scholarships. So congrats to Jake.
Yeah, excellent. Ready for some logical reasoning.
Let's do it. All right, I'll go ahead and read this and hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Bella needs a new 4-iron, a type of golf club.
Okay. Why does Bella need a new 4-iron? And also, is that the conclusion of the argument? There's just like sort of a normative thing going on there where I read that and I go, now that could be a premise of the argument,
Mm-hmm.
but it could also be the thing that they're trying to prove. I have to look at what all the other statements say to figure out how much I'm going to argue with Bella's need for a 4-iron. If it turns
Yeah.
out that that's just evidence, I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, yep, she needs a new 4-iron. Forget about it.
Whatever. Yeah.
But if the rest of the passage says here's why she needs a new 4-iron, I'm going to have to fire back with like, I don't think she needs a new 4-iron. What's wrong
Yeah.
with her current 4-iron?
Or do you even need a 4-iron?
Yeah, I don't even need a 4-iron at all. Good point.
Yeah. Okay. Next sentence. Every time she swings her current 4-iron, she hits the ground before striking the golf ball, causing the ball to fly a much shorter distance than she intended.
Okay, so as I kind of suspected,
Hmm.
that seems like a reason why we or Bella thinks Bella needs a new 4-iron.
Sure. Yep.
And I would say just because you suck at golf doesn't mean you need new clubs.
No, you need new skills.
I mean, you can get a brand new 4-iron and still hit the ground before the ball.
Mhm.
I don't think a new club, sorry Bella, I don't think a new club's going to fix this problem for you.
Yep.
Anyway.
One other thing, they say every time she swings her current 4-iron, I could see a lot of people thinking that this hitting the ground thing is unique
Oh,
to
yeah.
the 4-iron, but
Right.
it says nothing about what she does with her other clubs. This could be happening every time she swings them as well, but I could see people flipping this and treating this as a necessary condition rather than a sufficient one.
Yeah, she absolutely could be hitting straight into the ground with her driver and her 5-iron and her pitching wedge and her putter. And I mean, I have no evidence here that this is unique to Bella's 4-iron.
Yep. Recently, she borrowed a friend's 4-iron and reported that it felt much more natural to swing.
Okay. It doesn't even say she didn't hit the ground first.
Yeah.
She just liked the way it felt.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the way it felt, maybe that is evidence that you'd be better off with a new 4-iron, but it's very weak evidence.
It'd be nice to know a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. So the only possible conclusion that is that Bella's current four iron is the problem.
No, that's not the only possible conclusion. It could just be that Bella sucks at golf. Bella has a bad swing. She has bad fundamentals. She never practices. She's not athletic. She just sucks at golf.
Yep.
That's a easily just as plausible conclusion. That so there at the beginning of the sentence indicates that this is a conclusion of the argument. But I still don't think it's the ultimate conclusion of the argument. Because I think that
I
first
agree.
sentence was the ultimate conclusion of the argument.
Well, yeah. One way to test this, right, is to ask yourself, okay, so is the fact that her four iron is a problem, does that support the idea that she needs a new one? Or does the fact that she needs a new one support the idea that it's the four iron that's the problem, right? Like
Yeah.
it's definitely going from the fact that it's a problem to, okay, then what am I going to do about it?
Makes more sense the first way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Question. Which one of the following most accurately represents the main conclusion of the argument?
So pretty obvious here that a lot of students are going to miss this question. If you read the question first here, and if you just scan for keywords, you scan the argument and you see, so the only possible conclusion is that her four iron is the problem. And then you go into the answers and you pick that answer.
Yeah.
But that is not the main conclusion of the argument. That is a conclusion of the argument, but it is a conclusion that is used to justify the further conclusion that Bella needs a new four iron.
Correct.
So I can predict here the most commonly chosen wrong answer is going to be Bella's current four iron is the problem. And the right answer is going to say Bella needs a new four iron. Let's see.
Answer A. Bella's friend's four iron felt much more natural to swing.
Part of the argument, but it was not any conclusion of the argument. It was just part of the evidence.
Yeah. I would stop reading that at friends.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Answer B. Bella needs a new set of golf clubs.
Okay, that's not even, they didn't even say that. We were only ever talking about whether she needed a new four iron. 13 other clubs in her bag could be perfect for her, as far as we know. So B just misstates the argument.
Answer C. Bella's current four iron is to blame for her struggles.
That's the trap answer. That's what people are going to pick if they skim and if they only read the passage, or if they read the question first and they skim, that's what they're going to end up picking. Because that sounds like that last sentence. The only possible conclusion is that Bella's current four iron is the problem. But they didn't stop there. They went one step further, which was, oh, so get a new four iron. And there are other conclusions that you could reach from that, right? The only possible conclusion is that Bella's current four iron is the problem. Oh, okay. Well, then drop your four iron from your set. Don't even play with a four iron. Get yourself a 5-wood instead of a four iron.
Or use your previous one.
Your older four iron.
Yeah.
Quit golf.
Quit golf. Quit sports. Yeah.
So that C there, yeah, that's a trap.
Answer D. If Bella were to replace her four iron with a new four iron, her difficulty making solid contact with the golf ball would be resolved.
I mean, that seems like an assumption of the argument. You could definitely argue back on that and say, no, not necessarily. She can chunk the shit out of her new four iron just as bad as she can chunk her old four iron. But anyway, that's not the conclusion of the argument. The conclusion is Bella needs a new four iron.
Where would you stop reading this answer?
Oh man, probably in the first line when it says if Bella were to replace her four iron. It's like they never made any prediction about what's going to happen after Bella gets her new four iron. They just said she needs a new four iron. So whatever comes after if she were to replace her four iron, I'm like, that was not in the argument. They just didn't go there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving quickly. I might even just stop after if. Be like, hey, the conclusion wasn't conditional. Just, I need this. Okay.
Yep.
Answer D. Bella needs to replace her 4-iron.
Yeah. That's the first sentence said Bella needs a new 4-iron. Bella needs to replace her 4-iron means the same thing as that. And that is the conclusion of the argument. Checking here, I see that, yeah, C is the most commonly chosen wrong answer,
Yeah.
as predicted. Bella's current 4-iron is to blame for her struggles. Therefore, Bella needs to replace her 4-iron. If you narrowed it down to C and D here, or C and E here, you can do that therefore test. So C, therefore E makes sense. Bella's current 4-iron is to blame for her struggles. Therefore, she needs to replace her 4-iron. That makes sense. Flip it. Bella needs to replace her 4-iron. Therefore, her current 4-iron is to blame for her struggles. I don't know. The first thing doesn't really support the next thing.
Yeah. There are a lot of other reasons why you might need to replace your 4-iron. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not your 4-iron. Like it's borrowed from someone else and you need to replace it because you promised you would replace it. It could be that that's the best club in your bag, right? So
Yeah.
E doesn't really support C by that therefore test, but C definitely supports E.
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of thing that if you do the LSAT a different way, you're going to miss this question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is one where, boy, poster child for why we don't read the question first.
Yeah.
Because people who read the question first miss this. You're not getting this right if you read the question first. You're just going to get sucked right into those keywords and miss it.
Great.
All right.
Next email is from Callie. Subject is 172 cold diagnostic.
Dang. I've been a Nate. I started, quote, studying for the LSAT in November. I took 2 completely blind diagnostics and scored a 172 on both. I was really happy with those and figured I wouldn't need to devote that much time to studying, so I stupidly started studying with a test prep book and actually made negative progress on the practice tests I took after. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that story. I mean, 172 is like a shockingly high diagnostic.
Yeah. I'm
But
assuming that's timed. Yeah.
That's exactly the type of people who should not read a bunch of bullshit theory. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if Callie had just done it our way, just like go into reviewing your mistakes.
Yep. She would have been like, oh, that makes sense.
She's like
Next.
178 immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she went in and started reading a bunch of theoretical bullshit about how, oh boy, you got to think really carefully about the conditional reasoning here. Start seeing monsters under the bed of conditional reasoning. Start diagramming every statement. You better read the question first. You better skip question types you're not good at. It's like Callie was naturally good at every question type. Now they're convincing her that question types really super matter, that there's some question types that are harder. You need to approach the test in this backward, super technical way. Shocker, she makes backward progress. I finally found the demon about a month ago and have been feeling better about my studying. However, the practice tests I have taken still come back below my diagnostic. I don't understand how I've gotten worse. I feel like I should have been able to start making progress by now, and I just feel very lost and discouraged. I'm signed up for the February LSAT. Unfortunately, I did that before I learned y'all's advice to wait to sign up. And I'm going to take it as my first official attempt. I would really appreciate any advice for these next few weeks and the rest of my LSAT journey. And then she sent a screenshot.
Okay. This is good. The lowest score here is a 165 a few weeks ago, but then you have a 170, then you have a 171. So it seems like you're getting oriented and your scores are improving. I mean, there's no problem to be signed up for a test when you're already scoring in the 170s.
Yeah, I'm not that mad about it. I mean, I would just say if you're not feeling good about it, then you can always just walk away, right? Don't
Yep.
there's a sunk
Don't
cost
force it.
there.
Yeah.
And so you have you should consider it as you have the option to take the test for free if you want. But that's not a requirement to take the test for free if you don't want. So if you're really not feeling it, you can always just withdraw and take it in April instead. If you do take it in February, you definitely need to take it in April and June and August. That should be your plan. Do you think she's actually gotten worse?
No. I think there's some variance here, right? So, oh yeah, you take it, you get a 172. I'm not shocked that at some point you get a 165. Some of
Right.
this is just natural variance. Some of this might be from picking up some bad ideas and then now trying to erase those from your thought process and not getting distracted from your innate abilities. This is all very normal. You're already scoring in a range that would make so many people envious. So just keep learning from your mistakes. You are
I,
absolutely going to make progress and
yeah,
quickly.
and I think Callie's going to end up 175 or 178 or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But you got to just treat every practice test as if it's just another practice test, and you've got to learn from every single mistake you make. I think that your accuracy on questions attempted is a little bit too low.
Ooh, I'm noticing that now. Yeah. So, Cal, you're finishing every question.
Yeah, she's exactly. And that's, that does tend to happen to people who score as high as 172 on their diagnostic. They're like, what do you mean I can't finish every question? Of course I can finish every question.
Mm-hmm.
But you're missing too many. You're settling, Callie, for too many half guesses. You,
Yeah, you got 82% accuracy on your 165.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that kind of reinforces the hypothesis that, maybe Callie's starting state was actually 167 plus or minus 5.
Mm-hmm.
And she happened to get the +5 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's going to happen to some people, right?
Ooh, I just
So,
noticed something. These tests are imported. So Callie imported them from LawHub,
okay.
these first 4.
Uh-huh.
So it's very possible that the accuracy numbers are wrong.
Tell me more about that.
Well, so when you're taking a section in the daemon, it's figuring out whether you actually attempted that question based on how much time you spent on it.
But
When you
LawHub doesn't do
import
that.
it from LawHub, sometimes that information is harder to discern. And so the daemon may have just assumed or assigned attempted to all those questions, even if she didn't. I don't know. It's not clear.
Okay. But the last 2 were done at the demon, right? And she got
Yep, that's correct.
92% and 91% accuracy on those. I
Yep,
mean, that's still too low for someone who's trying to get to 175
that's
plus.
true. Yeah.
You need
Yep.
to be 95 to 100% accuracy, Callie. So your problem right now is that you're not solving enough of the questions. You're moving on too quickly where you're like, well, it's one of these, I'll just pick one and move on.
Mm,
And you unlock tons of value if you spend a little more time there and
yep.
actually solve it. Not only that, but you'll make faster progress as you continue to study for February, April, June, and beyond.
Yep.
Anything more for Callie?
No, you got this.
Uh, we can cut this segment if there's nothing you want to talk about.
No, there's some things I like to talk about. Actually, there's 2 things. One, I've been using Macro Factor instead of MyFitnessPal for tracking macros.
Okay.
I love it. The
Okay.
guy who made that app, he's some YouTuber. I don't know a lot about him, but he has done an excellent job with that. And then he just released another app called Workouts. Love it. It's just the right mix of customization. Allows you to say what you want, but then also based on all this information that you input, make recommendations. So for example, he has this long ass list asking you what workout equipment you have. I gave it all of that information, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to build a workout for you based on your goals and based on the equipment you have. And then it's
Nice.
just like, here, do this. And then you put in your reps and your weight, and then it immediately adjusts your remaining sets. Like, oh, if that's what you are able to do, this is what you should aim for next. And
Okay.
yeah, it's cool. I love it so far.
All right, so things we actually enjoy. Ben has macro factor for tracking macros, and
Yep.
what's the workout one?
Just workout. Not a
Called
unique name.
workouts.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Um, we have a viewer email here from Anonymous asking about a GPA addendum.
Okay. Hi, Demon Crew. I appreciate all you guys have done. I attended UNLV my freshman year, where in my first semester there was a school shooting that made national news. Resulting from this, in-person exams and classes were canceled and many grades were left as they were at the time of the incident. My GPA for this semester was a 3.12. The next semester, my GPA was significantly better, but not law school worthy, with a 3.42. Since my freshman year, I transferred to a different school where I hold a 3.667, currently with 2 semesters remaining. My current UGPA is a 3.52, and with me hopefully continuing to get straight A's, could be raised to a maximum of around 3.66. And as a side note, UNLV uses a plus-minus grading system. My current school does not. Okay. I recently attempted to contact UNLV and petition for my first semester grades to be changed to pass-fail, but seeing that one of the grades was a C-, they denied my petition. Changing all of the other grades to just passes besides the C- would harm me as well. My question for you guys is whether or not my situation warrants an addendum given the circumstances. Anyways, thank you guys for everything you guys do.
My gut says no. My gut says why.
The number is what matters.
Yeah, you need to get better grades. That's what you need to do. So get straight A's for 2 semesters remaining. If you were going to write an addendum, I would only point to the increasing grades. I would just say, hey, my last 2 years I had a 3.8. But I would not bring up the school shooting. I would not bring up, you there were other reasons why you didn't get that great of grades that first semester. It's obvious. It's just very common that people kind of fuck up in their freshman, sophomore year.
Yep.
Like, you weren't serious. I don't think bringing up the school shooting, I don't think that helps you.
By the way, I'm confused by this comment. Changing all of the other grades to just passes besides the C- would harm me as well. If your average is 3.12, were they all A's? Like, if they're not A's, changing them to passes seems like they would help you.
Yeah, the C- is a 1.7. So to get as high as a 3.12 average, it does actually indicate that those other grades were probably pretty good.
But unless they're A's, right?
No, if you
And
change all of them to pass, no pass, it helps you. But if you change just the just the A's and B pluses and stuff, then that's going to hurt you, right?
Well, I
I
guess what
guess
I'm
B
saying,
pluses would help you.
yeah, be helpful because if this, who is this? Is this anonymous? Yeah, anonymous.
Yeah.
If you're planning on getting straight A's from here on out, and you can get rid of anything below an A, it seems helpful.
Yeah, he says though that continuing to get straight A's, my GPA could be raised to a maximum of around a 3.66.
Yeah.
So that means if you get A minuses changed, it hurts you.
I guess
So
what I'm thinking is still like you're getting rid of those out. You're taking them out of the pool, right? And then now you can replace them even more with I think everybody should be going to a community college online that offers A pluses and taking those. That's a superpower, right? 4.33.
certainly could. Yeah. I would also get back in touch with UNLV. This sounds
Hmm.
like somebody who contacted them one time, sent an email.
Yep.
They
Sure.
said
Sure.
no, and that's it.
Hmm.
Ask 3 other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone might say yes and just do it.
Like, hey, I was victim of a school shooting.
Yeah.
I was there on campus while it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And because of that, I want you to change all these grades for the whole semester to passes.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the C minus might not get a pass. According to their system, C minus might
Oh, it
not
might
be a
be a
passing
fail.
grade,
Yeah.
which maybe is a fail. and then that actually hurts you. So just get better grades, dude, and get to work on your LSAT, because he doesn't mention LSAT at all here.
Yeah.
They don't mention LSAT at all. And like that's the thing that's going to actually move the needle. Word
Okay.
of the week?
Yeah, let's do it. This is suggested by you, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So for things I actually like, there's this website that I've been reading since I think just before the pandemic. I started reading this website called Defector,
Okay.
and Defector is like sports, news, politics, video games, just I don't know, random stuff that the various writers like to write about.
Okay.
So I was reading an article called "The Fourth Down Bluff. I hate it and I want it destroyed." Here's
Okay.
this quote. You want to read it?
Sure. This now happens multiple times every game, especially at the end of the first and third quarters. You can picture what I'm talking about already. The offense stays on the field for the fourth down. The announcer is like, looks like they're going for it here. And then the play clock falls below 10 seconds. Once that happens, you know what kind of shit the offense is really trying to pull. They don't really want to run a play on fourth down. That could be risky. No, they'd rather try and inevitably fail to
Euchre.
euchre 5 cheap yards out of the defense by using the hard count.
So obviously football. Do you know what this looks like in an actual game? Have you seen this fake fourth
This
down?
fourth down bluff?
The
No.
fourth down bluff.
Mm-mm.
You know, basically on fourth down, if you can kick a field goal, you're maybe going to kick a field goal.
Sure.
Depending on your field position and how far you have to go, you might
Yeah.
punt.
Yeah.
But if it's like 4th and 4, the offense will go out there and they'll do a bluff, like they're going for it, but they're not actually. The quarterback just gets behind the line of scrimmage and like yells, and they act like they're going to snap the ball, trying to draw the defense off sides to get 5 yards and a free first down. That's the fourth down bluff. You stumbled over the pronunciation of the word euchre.
Yeah.
What do you think euchre means here in this context?
No, they'd rather try and inevitably fail to euchre 5 cheap yards. So it sounds like to secure, but in a way that seems mischievous or underhanded.
Yeah, I think it basically means bluff here. And I put this on the list because I had never seen this word used in this context before. Euchre is actually a really popular bluffing game in like the Midwest. If you ever meet somebody from like Minnesota,
Yeah.
they know how to play euchre there.
Okay.
And it's very similar to poker, a bluffing game. But I looked it up, and sure enough, euchre as a verb to prevent, the second definition is to cheat or to trick. And I thought it was just the name of a card game.
So it says in this passage that they inevitably fail. So most of these don't work.
Yeah, that's why this columnist and every football fan in the entire world agrees that it sucks because it's boring. All they do is go out there, waste 30 seconds pretending like they're going to snap the ball, and then 99% of the time they end up either calling timeout or taking a delay game penalty, actually, because they're just going to punt anyway.
Yeah.
And so I think most football fans will agree that getting rid of that stupid trick, it just like probably should not be allowed. You can think of that when you're watching playoff football.
Cool. Are you talking to me or are you talking to our listeners? Because I will not be watching it.
You're not going to be watching any football?
No. Yeah. You can check out all our words, by the way, at lsat.link/wow. lsat.link/wow. WOW. Be LSAT famous. Please ask questions or share news with us on our website, thinkinglsat.com, or on our socials at lsatdemon. If you have questions, you can email help@thinkinglsat.com, and maybe we'll answer them on the show. If you have questions about the demon itself, you can email help@lsatdemon.com. You can also check out our other podcast, LSAT Demon Daily. That was episode 543 of the Thinking LSAT podcast. Thanks all y'all for listening. Nice knowing you. Don't pay for law school.